Ladies and gentlemen, this is, in the short time I've been doing political content here on YouTube, specifically dedicated on this channel, this is the most important video I've done so far. I mean, this really is huge. As you can see, we're over here on Twitter.com, the GOP House Judiciary Committee. Breaking. New whistleblower information reveals that the FBI is moving agents off of child sexual abuse investigations to instead pursue political investigations. The whistleblower recounted being told that child sexual abuse investigations were no longer an FBI priority. And as we are going to go through this document, you will see that hunting down people who went to listen to Trump's speech during January 6th and hunting down Trump's supporters and finding things to accuse us of is apparently more important than saving children from sex trafficking. Let's get into this. Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, Committee on the Judiciary, September 19th, 2022. Addressed to the dishonorable piece of shit, Christopher Wray. We continue to hear from brave whistleblowers about disturbing conduct at the Federal Bureau of Investigations, including politicization within the Washington field office. On date, we wrote to you about protected whistleblower disclosures that FBI officials, including an assistant special agent in charge, were pressuring agents to reclassify cases as domestic violent extremism, DVEs, even if the cases do not meet the criteria for such a classification. Translation: mark this down as something way more serious than it is, even if it's nowhere near that, because we're pushing an agenda. Since then, new whistleblowers have come forward with concerning information about how the FBI is deliberately manipulating the way case files related to Jan 6 are maintained in order to create a false and misleading narrative that domestic violent extremism is increasing around the country. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. New whistleblower disclosures indicate that the WFO's handling of DVE investigations relating to January 6 diverges from established practices in a way that overstates the national DVE threat. One whistleblower has described how cases are ordinarily characterized and labeled by the originating field office, with leads cut to other field offices for specific assistance in that geographic location. The whistleblower alleged the FBI has not followed regular procedure with respect to Jan 6 cases, which should all be officially led by the WFO and categorized as WFO cases. And then the informant explains. All of that is stuff that was pretty obvious to anyone paying attention, but now we have extremely hard evidence. I mean, this is as close to proof as you're going to get without stuff being discovered in a court of law. But the thing that's most concerning to me is here on the second page, down near the bottom, we have this paragraph. And this is bone-chilling to me and demonstrates the fact that the FBI is now rotten to the very fucking core. In addition, the whistleblower disclosed that the FBI is sacrificing its other important, much more important, federal law enforcement duties to pursue January 6th investigations. The whistleblower recalled, for example, being told that child sexual abuse material investigations were no longer an FBI priority and should be referred to local law enforcement agencies. I cannot begin to describe to you how evil that is. We are currently seeing an unprecedented number of whistleblowers in this country talking about rampant child sexual abuse by both political figures and people in Hollywood, social elites across the board. Left, right, center, up, down, black, white, green, blue. Unprecedented reports and rumors of child sexual abuse. And the FBI thinks it's more important to investigate a guy who waved a flag outside the White House than to save those kids. I wonder if they're not investigating child sex trafficking anymore because they know if they did, a bunch of Democrat names would pop up, like Joe and Hunter Biden. The FBI should be abolished. Abolish the CIA, abolish the FBI, abolish the TSA, abolish all these secondary agencies that never fucking existed until they were dreamed up by corrupt politicians. Tear it all down, right to the studs. Go back to the government as strictly outlined by the Constitution, and we can start over from scratch. That's the only cure as far as I'm concerned. Along with a constitutional amendment on term limits, and that includes, for people working in government, no more lifetime bureaucrats. But the fact that these people seriously feel comfortable sending down the pecking order, sending down the food chain, hey, don't worry about those kids getting trafficked and mass abused. We got MAGA Republicans to hunt down. That is just unspeakably evil, and I can't even find any other words in my vocabulary to really denote how bad this really is, because sometimes words simply fail you. I could write a 150K novel about how fucked up this is and not fully cover it. And all I can say is you need to put these report pages in front of your Democrat friends. You need to take them to this tweet and show them this document and look them in the eyes and say, if you vote D one more time, I cannot associate with you. If you vote D one more time, you are not a good person. If you know about this, if you see this going on, if you know that the FBI would rather hunt down people with an R next to their name than literal pedophiles, and you still vote for the people making that happen, you're pure evil. That's all I got for you. This has been The Lead Adventurer. I'll see you guys in the next one. May God have mercy on our souls.